This video is to aid the students of CA final who are giving their indirect tax examination in November 2020. This video is divided into 6 parts and will be useful for those writing the DOT series examination of Pradeep CA. This video covers amendment lecture relating to indirect tax for the last 2 examination periods, that is mainly for May 2020 examination as well as November 2020 examination. This amendment video is divided into 6 phases such that each week before your DOT examination we are planning to post the amendment video. Hope it is useful for you. Before going into the amendments, what are amendments? Amendments are nothing but called as change. Yes, you heard me right. Amendments are nothing but called as change. What was there earlier? What is there now? Both are different. That is an amendment. What are the types of amendment? What are the types of amendment? Amendment can be broadly categorized into 3 types. Amendment can be broadly categorized into 3 types. What are those? Number 1, amendments in the nature of clarification. Amendments in the nature of clarification. What do you mean by amendments in the nature of clarification? A particular law is already established. A particular section is already given. However, due to additional notes not given, additional points not given, it creates an ambiguity in the minds of the taxpayer or a confusion in the minds of the taxpayer. What if this situation arises? What if this situation arises? In order to give a solution of what this, in order to eliminate this what if, eradicate this what if, the Finance Act and by way of various circulars and notification, government gives amendments in the nature of clarification. How do they give that, sir? So, below that section, they give explanation. Below that section, they give explanation. And in that, they say, it is hereby clarified that. It is hereby clarified that, or for the removal of doubts. For the removal of doubt. That means, this particular explanation is given only for the purpose of clarifying a matter so that the confusion is eliminated in your mind, and it is mostly in retrospective in nature. It already existed in the law. It already exists in the law. However, only by way of a note, by way of an explanation, I am eradicating your confusion. That's it. That is one type. Amendments in the nature of clarification. Amendments in the nature of clarification. Okay, what are the other types of amendments which are possible? Number 1, number 2, arising out of court judgments. Amendments arising out of court judgments. So, courts, be it Supreme Court, be it High Court, or be it any other competent court, they are there to interpret the law. Courts are there to interpret the law. However, the interpretation of the court sometimes differ from the intention of the lawmaker. I repeat, however, the interpretation of the court is sometimes different from the intention of the lawmaker. In order to overturn the decision of the court, overrule the decision of the court, in order to overturn the decision of the court itself, overrule the decision of the court itself, the Finance Act, by way of various circulars notifications, by way of various amendments in the Act itself, brings out amendments to overrule or overturn the court judgments. What are the third type of amendments, sir? Others. What do you mean by others? It may be for the benefit of the department. It may be for the benefit of the assessee, based on few genuine hardships faced by them, based on various representations made, or it may be there may be a loophole in the tax which the taxpayer is taking extra undue advantage. In order to remove that, the government may bring this. Now, let us go to the amendments that are applicable for our examination. We will cover these in a phased manner. The first amendment, the first amendment is in the basics of GST. The first amendment is in the basics of GST. Basics. Before going to the amendment, we should know that there is something called as intrastate supply. There is something called as intrastate supply. What do you mean by that intrastate supply? Intrastate. That means supply made in between the same state. Supply made between the same state. Here the state also includes union territory. When I say intrastate supply, the state also includes union territory. Okay, sir. Now intrastate supply, three types of tax are involved. In intrastate supply, three types of tax are involved. What are those? What are those three types of tax? Number one, CGST. Number one, SGST. And the last one, UTGST. So in intrastate supply, three types of GST is involved. Number one is CGST, number one is SGST, and the last one is UTGST. In the CGST, 50% of my total tax is chargeable. If total tax is 100 rupees, 50 rupees will be CGST. What is the question, sir, now? What is the question now? Now, for what states SGST is charged and for what states UTGST is charged? Very, very simple. For what states SGST is charged, for what states UTGST is charged. Okay. Now, before going into that, I should know for what states Chief Minister is there, for what states Chief Minister is not there. Sir, what are you saying, sir? Are you saying it right? Yes, I am. For what states Chief Minister is there? Chief Minister is there. For what state Chief Minister is not there? That is the underlying point here. Okay. Why you are saying like that, sir? I'll come in a while. So now, example, all states, all the 28 or 29 states, whatever it is, they have a Chief Minister. Yes, sir, they have a Chief Minister. Tamil Nadu, Edappadi Palaniswamy, sir. Yes, sir, they have a Chief Minister. Correct? Then SGST is charged. Okay, sir, understood. And all union territories, for whom a Chief Minister is applicable, Okay, sir. So states, yes, always every state will have a Chief Minister. Okay, SGST. Union territories, for him Chief Minister is applicable, for them also SGST only, and not UTGST. Okay, sir. For what states, for what union territories CM is required? I will not know that. Come on. There are only 3 union territories. For which CM is there and for which SGST is applicable. Number 1, Delhi. Mr. Arvind Kejriwal is the Chief Minister. Pondicherry. They are named it as now Puducherry. And Jammu and Kashmir. I repeat, before going into what should be charged under SGST, what states are covered under UTGST, you must first think what states or what union territories need a Chief Minister. All states need a Chief Minister, sir. Yes, SGST is charged. Union territories having a Chief Minister, SGST is charged. Those are Delhi, Pondicherry, Jammu and Kashmir. Now, sir, in the examination, how will I write? Can I write, sir, Delhi has Chief Minister, Mr. Arvind Kejriwal, hence for that SGST is applicable? No, Kanna. This Chief Minister, we call them as State Legislature status. So, if a union territory is given a status of state legislature, then for them SGST is charged and not UTGST. I repeat, if a union territory is given the status of a state legislature, for them SGST is charged and not UTGST. Okay, sir, no problem. Now, I know there are 28 states. I know there are 8 union territories. However, I am not a geographical person. I don't follow politics. How do I know what states UTGST is applicable, what states the SGST is applicable? How can I remember 28 states name and 3 union territories name, sir? So you tell me, I don't know what are the UTGSC also, but somehow I want to remember. In exam suddenly they ask, how will I know to charge SGSC or UTGSC? No problem. Whenever you don't know something, first chill. Yes, you heard me right. Whenever you don't know something, first chill. Childa. CHILLD. What is this tilde? It is just a mnemonic. It is just a mnemonic to remember. It is just a mnemonic to remember what states, what union territories for which UTGSC is applicable. What is the mnemonic, sir? Childa. CH. Chandigarh. L. Ladakh. L. Lakshadweep. 4. Dadar, Nagar, Haveli and Daman and Diu. I know it is tough, but let us get it. Dadar, Nagar, Haveli and Daman and Diu. DNH, DD. Andaman and Nicobar Islands. So, I don't know what union territories UTGSC is applicable. Whenever I don't know something, chill. Childa. Chandigarh, Ladakh, Lakshadweep, Dadar, Nagar, Haveli and Daman and Diu, Andaman and Nicobar Islands. Okay, sir, you told me this, you explained this, but what is the amendment here, sir? Kindly listen. This Dadar, Nagar, Haveli and Daman and Diu. Earlier, it was Dadar, Nagar, Haveli to Daman and Diu. They were 2 different union territories. Now, government has merged them. So, where earlier there were 6 union territories, now there are only 5 union territories. What is the effective date of that? It came into effect from Jan 26, 2020. Oh, sir, yes, the Republic Day. It came into effect from Jan 26, 2020, the Republic Day. Now, Republic Day, remember this, Republic Day. So, Childa, this is the mnemonic, Chandigarh, Ladakh, Lakshadweep, Dadar, Nagar Haveli and Daman and Diu and Andaman and Nicobar Islands. And it came into effect from the Republic Day. This DNHDD, it got merged from the Republic Day. Sir, why are you stressing on the word Republic Day, sir? Why are you stressing the word Republic Day, sir? Let us see now the next amendment. Now, let us see our next amendment. It is under supply under GST. Chapter 2, supply under GST. We have seen the basics. Now let us see the next one. Supply under GST. Sir, you didn't still answer our question, sir. Why were you stressing on the word Republic Day? So, the previous amendment relating to Dadar, Nagar, Haveli and Daman and Diu came on the Republic Day. Now, what is that relevant, sir? Just for, sir, what is the relevant, sir? Just thought it will be useful for the students. Republic Day. Republic Day. So, what are I coming to say? Republic, pub. What do you generally have in a pub? Saraku. Yes. What do you call that in English? Alcohol. Yes. Our next amendment is based on alcohol. Alcoholic liquor for human consumption. Sir, I have heard, sir, I saw in newspaper and all, lot of noise, in some movies and all they have told, sir, alcohol is outside the ambit of GST. Then what amendment and all here, sir? Yes, you are right. So, students, alcoholic liquor for human consumption. Is outside the ambit of GST. Alcoholic liquor for human consumption is outside the ambit of GST. Okay, sir. What is the amendment now? Let's see. Alcoholic liquor. Outside GST. However, supply of service by way of granting right to sell alcoholic liquor for human consumption. Supply of service, granting right here is the license. That means service of granting license for selling alcoholic liquor, service of granting license for selling alcoholic liquor is chargeable to tax under GST. I repeat, service of granting license for selling alcoholic liquor is chargeable to tax under GST. So now let us see the amendment in that. So I will tell you what it is. I have to give a license to Mr. X. Only after I give the license, he can sell alcohol. This license is not given free, There is a consideration charge, and it is a business of the license whoever is giving. That means it is chargeable to tax under GST. However, one exception has been given by the government by way of a notification. One exception has been given by the government by way of notification. Sir, what is that expectation? Let's see. Exception, let's see. Let us take an example. Tamil Nadu government. They have their own state-run task mark. Tamil Nadu government, they have their own state-run task mark. Now, what they are doing, they are giving a license. To whom? Mr. X Limited or X Limited. Tamil Nadu government, they are giving a license to X Limited. For what purpose? Purpose should only be for sale of alcoholic liquor. Purpose should only be for sale of alcoholic liquor for human consumption. Basically சரக்கு நீ விற்கலாம் அப்படின்னு சொல்கிறதுக்கு நான் ஒரு லைசன்ஸ் தரேன். தம்பி இந்தாப்பா லைசன்ஸ் தரேன், சரக்கு நீ விற்கலாம். இந்த லைசன்ஸ் ஃப்ரீயாக தராங்களா, காசு வாங்கி தராங்களா? காசு வாங்கி தராங்க. எக்ஸ் லிமிடெட் வில் பே மணி. திஸ் மணி இஸ் கால்ட் as consideration. This granting of license by Tamil Nadu government to X Limited, is it chargeable to tax under GST or not? Ideally yes, but what we are seeing exception. What government told is, listen very carefully. What government told is, where a state government, that's why I took Tamil Nadu government, I didn't take the central government. That's why I took Tamil Nadu government, I didn't take central government. Where the state government, that's why Tamil Nadu government, state government provide service by way of granting license to any person. So state government provide service by way of granting license to any person. What license it is? For selling saraku. For state government granting license to any person for sale of saraku. So in that case, the service of granting license is not a supply. The service of granting license is not a supply. This is released in terms of section 7(2) of CGST Act, where they said the government on the recommendation of the council can treat some supplies neither as supply of goods nor as supply of services. The central government, in accordance with the recommendations of GST council, have exercised this option given under 7(2). Based on that, they have brought a notification. State government is granting a license to any person. Purpose of the license is to sell alcoholic liquor allow him to sell alcoholic liquor for human consumption. Then such service of granting license is neither a supply of goods nor a supply of services. That is, they have clarified. Okay, sir, what if here it is not central government, since you told central government only, okay sir, what if it is a state government? So what if it is a, sorry, what if, since you told it is only a state government, what if the service provider is a central government? What if the service provider is a central government? My dear students, one thing you should understand, granting license or supply of alcoholic liquor for human consumption, by itself is a state subject, There are various entry lists. In that, one of the list for only for state subject, only for the state governments to levy that, only for the state governments to have control of that is alcoholic liquor for human consumption. So there cannot be a possibility of central government granting license. There cannot be a possibility of central government granting license. So this is the second amendment. However, last one, say sir, Tamil Nadu government, they are giving license to X Limited, same. However, it is not for Sarak, no, it's bad for health. Sorry, sir, I will not drink. So that means Sarak is for bad for health. I am granting license. Sir, for what purposes? Example, extraction of iron ore. Example, extraction of iron ore. Sir, is there exception for this? Is there exemption for this? You saw here, the exception is for granting license for a consideration to someone. The purpose of the license is for alcoholic liquor, also known as Sarak. Here, same central government, same state government, same Tamil Nadu government, they are giving license, same X Limited, but it is not for Sarak, it is for extraction of iron ore. Sir, is it chargeable to tax under GST? You answer. Is there an exception? No. Yes, it is chargeable to tax. Sir, but will the government pay GST on it? Is government a person first of all? Yes. As per GST law, government is also a person. But sir, in this case, will the government really pay tax? No, Kanna. It is service of granting license for other purposes. Other purposes here means other than alcoholic liquor is covered under RCM. So basically, simply put, state government gives license to a person for sale of alcoholic liquor, then it is neither a supply of goods nor supply of services. They have exercised the option under section 7.2. Okay sir, no sir, they are not giving for alcoholic liquor, they are giving for other purposes. Oh, other purposes, yes sir, the GST is leviable, but however, paid on RCM basis. RCM means the recipient will pay tax. Let us go to the next amendment. Suppose in the exam they ask you, what if central government has given the license? You should exhibit your knowledge. to the examiner, stating that there cannot be a possibility of the central government giving license for alcoholic liquor for human consumption, because alcoholic liquor for human consumption is a state subject. You should exhibit your knowledge. Exhibit your knowledge. So why you are stressing again, sir? Exhibit. We are talking about an exhibition. What is an exhibition, sir? The next amendment. This is a clarification amendment. Already we are aware of it. Already I am very sure all of you are aware of it. But since central government, by way of recommendation of GST Council, they have released a clarification. It is covered in your study material. I must also cover. Exhibition. What is this exhibition, sir? Sir, I am an artist. I have 100 paintings. But in India, I don't have market. I am an artist. I have 100 paintings. In India, I don't have any market. Now, what is happening is, since in India I don't have market, this is the painting here. I am sending it out. Please be careful. I am not telling sale. I am sending it out to London, UK. I am sending this out for the purpose of exhibition. Exhibition nothing means display. Exhibition means display, that's all. So for displaying my painting in UK, I am sending it. free of cost, no consideration involved. There is no sale involved now. When I send it to UK, it is for displaying. If someone likes it, let them buy. So the question here is very simple. Is there a consideration involved? As I said, no consideration involved. So if there is a consideration involved, then only GST is leviable. If there is no consideration, there is no GST. That is what this amendment has also clarified. Sir, idikla amendment idik dampa koduthirukaanga enna pandrathu. However, if sir, but I know something, sir. Basically, I am trying to remember, sir. Yeah, sir. Scheduled 1, there is one concept, sir. Scheduled 1 supplies. There it says supply made even without consideration is chargeable to tax, sir. So why not it will come that, sir? Sir, I am not sending to a related party. I am not sending to my own establishment. I am putting out an exhibition somewhere else. Then schedule 1 also won't be applicable, sir. No consideration, no GST. Concept is no consideration, no GST. No consideration, no GST. Unless it is covered under schedule 1. Sir, we were talking about free of cost, sir. We were talking about free of cost. How can someone give free of cost, sir? அவங்களுக்கு நல்ல மனசு இருக்கணும். அவங்களுக்கு நல்ல மனசு இருக்கணும். So next one, we are talking about charity or donation. We are talking about donation. Sir, one thing, when something is called as service, there should be a consideration in return. I should do something to get something in return. But in case of a donation, let us divide it into two categories. One, pure heart person. Others. Sir, in the act, is it given pure heart person? No. In act and all, it is not given like that. But just so that we are able to link it. Pure heart person means avanukku thangamana manasu. He is giving the donation, say to a charitable institution. Donation to charitable institution. Okay, sir. I gave donation to a charitable institution. I am a very pure hearted person. I don't have intention. I gave rupees 1 lakh. Okay, sir. I gave rupees 1 lakh. Now, this 1 lakh I have given to them. So, what they are telling me, sir, romba nandri, sir. Na solra, இல்லைம்மா நன்றிலாம் வேண்டாமா, நான் பியூர் ஹார்ட் பர்சன் ஆச்சுல, நோ இஷ்யூஸ், யூ டேக் இட், யூ டேக் கேர், சில்ட்ரனை பார்த்துக்கோங்க, எஜுகேஷன் யூஸ் பண்ணுங்க, எல்லாத்துக்கும் நான் சொல்லிட்டு நான் போயிடுறேன். வாட் திஸ் சேரிட்டபிள் இன்ஸ்டிடியூஷன் இஸ் டூயிங், தே ஆர் ஆல்சோ பியூர் ஹார்ட் பர்சன். த சேரிட்டபிள் இன்ஸ்டிடியூஷன் ஆல்சோ பியூர் ஹார்ட். இவர் கொடுத்துருக்காரு, அப்போது இவர் கொடுத்ததுனால தே பாட் சம்திங். ஓகே, தே பாட் சம்திங் அண்ட் தேர் தே ஹவ் கிவன் திஸ் donation is given by, say, Karan has given the donation. This donation is being given by Karan, who resides in ABC address. That means what? So they are displaying your name in this. But why are they displaying your name? It is by way of gratitude, expressing their gratitude, expressing thanking. They are thanking you for this, and they are only telling this donation is by Karan. They didn't tell who is Karan. They didn't tell what business is Karan doing. They didn't tell what is the company address of Karan. He resides in this place, Mr. Karan. Or he just says Mr. Karan, that's so and so, father of, son of, daughter of, whatever it is, they can give. Okay, so pure heart person. So simple question, sir, pure heart person is giving donation, sir. There is no hidden element involved. Not involved. Charity is also not displaying anything. Is it chargeable to tax under GST? Boss, it is not a service at all. Sir, why it is not a service at all? You are giving the donation to the charitable organization. Yes, sir. However, are you expecting something in return? Sir, I am giving something. Am I expecting or receiving something? No, sir, I am not receiving. Consideration is quid pro quo. Something in return. Sir, I am giving money, but I am not receiving any other service, sir. I am not expecting anything else. I am not receiving it also. Then it is not a service at all. No GST. It is not a service at all. No GST. It is not taxable. Okay, sir. Super. I understood, sir, very well. What is this other, sir? Non-pure hearted person. Sir, what is this non-pure hearted person? That nothing like that. Everyone in life are pure hearted person. So pure hearted person is one. Others is one. Others means there is a hidden element. Sir, what is the hidden element, sir? So the same, I'll give example X Limited. They give 1 lakh donation to a charitable organization. They say, sir, I'll give you 1 lakh donation, sir. Super. You also use for education purpose, medical purpose, whatever is it, sir. However, you are going to have an event tomorrow. You are going to have an event tomorrow. In that, put my name. X Limited should be there as my sponsor. As your sponsor, X Limited should be there. You should have in pamphlets. X Limited should be there. In your office premises, you should have something relating to X Limited, so that people can come and see. That means what? You are giving the donation not out of pure heart, you have something hidden element. That hidden element is giving the donation and receiving something in return. This receiving something in return, so sponsor, this, that, it is in the nature of advertising service. I am doing promotion for my company, advertising service. So they also put X Limited engaged in so and so have sponsored advertising service. So, sir, what the government told, boss, you are a pure art person, you give, no problem, you keep on giving, I will not charge GST at all. Boss, you are advertising yourself, it is a charitable institution, how you can do that? If that is the case, they must pay GST, they must pay GST, GST is must. Sir, I was one doubt, sir, who should pay GST here? Who should pay GST here? Whether it is a charitable organization or the company X Limited who is providing the service. Whenever something is there, unless given under RCM, your mind should go, who is providing the service? Sir, money X Limited is giving, service who is displaying it, charitable organization. So, should charitable organization pay GST here? Yes. So, GST is must by charitable organization. The charitable organization must pay GST here and not the company. This is called as forward charge mechanism. So, this is what is there overall in supply under GST. Let us go to the next amendment. Charge of GST. Charge of GST. Sir, just now you told charitable organization, in that case where donation is for other than pure heart purpose, then the charitable organization should pay tax under FCM. FCM means forward charge mechanism. Okay, sir, that I understood. Supplier of service, he has to pay tax. Okay, sir. Then is there something else other than FCM? Yes. There are few services called as RCM services. Few services called as RCM services. Reverse charge mechanism. Reverse charge mechanism. Sir, what is that reverse charge mechanism? Should I backwork my calculation because it's reverse, then I have to find the base amount? No. Reverse charge mechanism means in GST, generally the provider of service, the provider of goods should pay tax. However, here we are saying only RCM of services, not goods, RCM of services. Is there RCM applicable for goods also, sir? Yes, it is applicable. It is not covered in our syllabus. So, reverse charge mechanism of service, generally a supplier, provider of service is liable to pay tax under GST. However, the government has come out with a list saying that no boss, you need not pay, let the recipient pay. Let the recipient pay. Okay, we are going to see the amendments in terms of this reverse charge mechanism. What is the first amendment? 1 minute. Sir, enna sir tune podringa? Sir, this is Airtel tune, sir. I know very well, sir. Did you get copyright? Oh, sorry. Okay. Sir, what you are drawing, sir? Okay, sorry. Sir, what you are writing, sir? Teach us, what you are doing? No, Kana. The first one, tune, music composer. Our amendment is based on this. Second one, drawing, artist. Third one, writing something, book, author. Okay, sir, what is the amendment? So, where a music composer, artist or author gives right right, permit of use of right of their own composition, permit of use of right of their own composition, their own drawing, their own art, their own book. Sir, to whom they will give, sir? To me? No. Music composer A.R. Rahman, example, he will give to Sony India, Sony. So to music company. Artist will give to a producer. Author, to whom will give a publisher. Okay. So services of music composer, artist, author by way of permit of use of rights of the literary works, of their works, whatever name it be, or the like, So this is not an exhaustive list, this is an inclusive definition, or the like. Example, when they give permit of use of right, to whom? Who is the recipient? These are the provider, he is the recipient. And this supply of granting permit of use of right, mainly copyright, for a consideration, this is what we call as royalty. Basically, or copyright ku someone is giving you money for your own original work, it is called as royalty. Basically, royalty service related, when someone is giving to the recipient, then it is under RCM. RCM na another reverse charge mechanism. Sir, who will pay tax then? Who will pay tax? The music composer or the producer or the publisher. These people will pay the tax. Oh, okay, sir. Sir, is this the amendment? Earlier, was there any different case? No. Earlier also, this was the same case. Sir, then why are you telling this in amendment lecture? Because central government, they have given by way of a notification this RCM for this service alone. RCM relating to copyrights alone has become optional. RCM relating to copyright related services has become optional. Sir, what do you mean by optional? Is it don't pay tax and pay tax? No. Who should pay the tax? Whether supplier or the recipient? Sir, who should choose who should pay tax? The supplier will say, boss, here the supplier is the author of a book. In our case, Agatha Christie. Supplier will say, boss, I am Agatha Christie. He will not say like that. I am just telling, boss, I am Agatha Christie. I am a very big author of a book. I am given to Sitharaman & Co. I have the ability to pay. I have GST registration. Hence, I will pay under forward charge mechanism. Recipient, ni fund panna. Agatha Christie. I am a person. I am a very big person. Okay, I am a person. I am a very big person. And I already have GST registration. So, first condition. Supplier optional. Supplier will say, I want to pay GST under FCM. To whom should the supplier say? Should Agatha Christie call to Sitharaman and say, hello Sitharaman, see, I am giving this copyright, you don't worry, GST and Pakkawa I will pay. Should he say to Sitharaman Co or should he say to government? Should he say to Sitharaman Co or should he say to the government? He should say it to government. What should Agatha Christie do for that? Number one, he should have a registration under GST. Yes sir, to pay tax one should have a registration. Correct sir. Then you should file a declaration in the prescribed form. You should file a declaration that, boss, I will pay GST under forward charge. Super. But next thing, sir, the declaration, once if I make, is it valid for my entire lifetime till my death and all, or till my registration ends? What is the validity period of the declaration? Minimum 1 year from the date of application. Minimum 1 year. Minimum 1 year. That means up to a point of 1 year, Agatha Christie cannot revoke this declaration. Whatever thing he is doing, he has to pay only under FCM for a period of 1 year from this declaration. Okay sir, good. Is there something else he should do? Okay, let me think of it. So registration he has, pakka sir, super. Registration he has. Okay, registration once he says, he tells to government. This declaration to whom it is filed? To government. Okay, government told boss, you filed the declaration, minimum 1 year is there, super, super, super. Is there something else? Yes. What is that something else, sir? Now, ideally, generally, if the option was not exercised, to pay, right? So what the government is telling, in the invoice, which Agatha Christie charges Sitaraman and Co. In the invoice, which Agatha Christie charges to Sitaraman and boss, you say not liable under RCM or seal போட்டுரு, not liable under RCM ஒரு சீல் போட்டுரு. அகாதா கிறிஸ்டி டாக்ஸ் ஆல்ரெடி சார்ஜ் பண்றான்ல, அப்ப இதுக்கு அது RCMல கட்டணும். ஸோ பேசிக்கலி என்ன சொல்றான்னா, வேர் author of a book or artist or an author who is or the like, that means related persons who is granting rights for permit of use of their original works, literary works or composition. Basically it's royalty, copyrights consideration is a royalty here. To whom? Author of a book, producer, publisher, etc. It is taxed under RCM basis. RCM means recipients who pay tax. What is the amendment here? This has become optional. The forward charge mechanism, that is the supplier can pay tax if they wish to, and the recipient can be fund panna. So Agatha Christie, in our case, optional. Agatha Christie, say, I am a big person, I will pay tax. Why should you pay? He is asking. Okay, government is saying, okay Raja, you pay, but you first tell me if you have a registration. Yes sir, I have a registration. Then you give a declaration saying that you will pay, and the declaration cannot be revoked for a period of 1 year. Okay sir, pakka sir, I know for sure I am a big person, nothing will happen to me. Third, in the invoice which is given to Sitaraman, in the invoice which is given to Sitaraman, you should say, not, you should put a seal, not liable under RCM basis, not liable under RCM basis, because 2 times nothing can be taxed, only once it should be taxed. That is the logic here. Understood? This is the first amendment relating to RCM. Sir, one doubt, sir. Why did you give Agatha Christie as an example, sir? She is an author, okay, sir. But you also told musician, artist, photographer, or the like, sir. Then you could have taken A.R. Rahman, you could have taken Ilayaraja, you could have taken Haris Jayaraj, you could have taken Yuvan Shankar Raja also, sir. Sir, even you put the tune starting well, sir. You could have taken your name also, sir. But why an author? Why an author? Why Agatha Christie that too, sir? See, listen, because this option to opt for tax by the supplier, the option to opt for tax by the supplier is only available to an author, is only available to an author, is only available to an author. That means if A.R. Rahman or Haris Jayaraj or any other music player, any other photographer, any other artist who provides copyright services to a recipient, if A.R. Rahman, Haris Jayaraj, Yuvan Shankar Raja, Ilayaraja, whatever may be, musician, artist, photographer, whoever it may be, if they provide any copyright service, it is always taxable under reverse charge. There is no option available. The option to pay tax by the supplier, is only available to an author, is only available to an author. Let us see what is the next amendment. Charge of GST, RCM. It's a beautiful amendment brought out. This is totally new. Let's see how it goes. The principle of this amendment under RCM is based on one principle. Simple. Kindly listen, please. Principle is big person. The principle of this amendment alone, I am telling, which I am going to teach. Big person pay tax, small person keep quiet. I repeat, this principle is based on this amendment is based on the principle big person pay tax, small person keep quiet. Oh, okay sir, let's go to the amendment. Come on. Renting of motor vehicle. renting of motor vehicle. This is the set service. Is there any condition attached to it? Yes. Renting of motor vehicle. Okay, sir, I can rent motor vehicles for transporting myself. I can load goods to it. For what purpose, sir, it is? Renting of motor vehicles to carry passengers. To carry passengers. Okay, sir. Renting of motor vehicle to carry passengers. Okay, sir, I will remember, sir. Very good. Super, sir. Next, you tell me, sir. Renting of motor vehicle to carry passengers. Okay, now I am renting a motor vehicle to carry passengers. Now, is there any other condition involved? Now, let us take an example. Let us take an example. Ola. They are giving, Ola is a cab service provider, in case you are not aware. Ola, they are giving me 8-hour rental package. Ola, they are giving me 8-hour rental package. Okay, sir, super. Enga sir poringa, from here I am traveling to Bangalore, so 8-hour rental package. I didn't get train and all here. Super, sir. Anyway, train services due to corona is gone. Correct. So 8 hours. Ola is telling, boss, for 8 hours you pay me 2000 rupees. For 8 hours you pay me rupees 2000. I also asked him, sir, 2000 இதுக்கு மேலே எக்ஸ்ட்ரா பைசா வாங்கிங்களா, சல்லி பைசா வாங்கலைங்க என்கிட்ட இருந்து, ஏமாத்துறீங்க சார், இப்போவே சொல்லிடுங்க 2000 ஃபைனல் ப்ரைஸா, ஏன்னா ஹிடன் காஸ்ட் மாதிரி இருக்கா. அவன் சொல்கிறான், கவலையே படாதீங்க சார், 2000 தாங்க, டோலு கீழு எல்லாமே நான் பே பண்ணுறேன், டோலு கீழு எல்லாமே நான் பே பண்ணுறேன். ஓகே சார், சூப்பர், ஆல் இன்க்ளூசிவ். Why are you telling this, sir? Now, the amendment, it says, renting of motor vehicle to carry passengers. Is Ola charging a consideration? Yes, sir, 2000 rupees they are charging. You only told no, sir. Correct. Now, if the consideration is charged, is it inclusive fuel cost or exclusive fuel cost? Whether rupees 2000 in our example includes fuel cost or rupees 2000 in our example excludes fuel cost. There are two cases, okay? That means if Ola says, sir, 2000 thanga, then how many liters petrol I put, that much amount you give. Suppose I put 5 liter petrol, 1 liter petrol is 80 rupees, give me 400 rupees extra, sir, 2000 plus 400. If he says, then 2000 is excluding fuel cost. If it's excluding fuel cost, I have to pay normal rent of car. Super, sir, correct, 2000. Fuel cost, sir, 5 liter ஆகும்னு சொல்கிறான். சார் எப்படி சார் சென்னை டு பெங்களூர் 5 லிட்டர் அசியூம் பண்ணுறோம், rupees 400. Now, I got heart attack. Why, sir, you got heart attack? Fuel prices are increasing, skyrocket it is. Every day 2 rupees are increasing. So, I got heart attack by seeing this fuel cost. So, that is why what now all service providers, cab providers are telling, they are not separately charging fuel cost. Why? Or else I'll get heart attack. So, what they are telling, if fuel cost is excluding and separate consideration is charged for fuel cost, my total is 2000 ku, adukku mela if fuel cost is included, that means RCM is not applicable, no RCM, pay on FCM. RCM is not applicable, pay on FCM. Super, this is done. Now, this 2000 is including fuel cost, sir. This 2000 is including fuel cost, sir. Super, this is where our amendment comes. This 2000 is including fuel cost, sir. Yes, this is where our amendment comes. Sir, what is the amendment? Before going that, I have to give you a background. So, renting of motor vehicle to carry passengers, the consideration includes fuel cost, the consideration excludes fuel cost. So, the consideration excludes fuel cost, there is a separate consideration for fuel cost, there is a separate consideration for fuel cost, then no RCM, only FCM. No, sir, this 2000, I don't know what is the component of running cost, I don't know what is the component of hiring cost, I don't know what is the component of fuel cost also, sir. Total 2000 vaangina, avladha sir I know. Then, that is our amendment area. Let us see that. Renting of motor vehicle to carry passengers. Consideration includes fuel cost. Okay, sir, pakka. Now, next can we go? Sure. Now, I have to tell you about the tax rate for renting of motor vehicle. Sir, is this relevant for examination, sir? Really, tax rate and all, are they going to test? For this amendment alone, tax rate, knowing the tax rate is very, very crucial. For this amendment alone, knowing the tax rate is very, very crucial. Okay, sir, if it's relevant for exam, you can tell. Thanks, sir. Now, for renting of motor vehicle to carry passengers, there are two tax rates. One, charge at 5%, another charge at 12%. One charge at 5%, another charge at 12%. Okay, sir. When 5%, when 12%, sir? First of all, is it relevant for my examination? Second, how do I know what is the difference between those? Okay, whether it's relevant or not, it is going to take only 1 minute to explain it to you. So let me explain that. When, sir, 12%? I take credit ITC. I take ITC of all my inputs, input services, capital goods. I pay ITC of all my inputs, input services, capital goods. Then since you are taking ITC of everything, then pay tax at higher rate. ITC you are taking of everything, pay tax at higher rate, 12%. No sir, no sir, I am not taking ITC of everything. In fact, I am not even able to buy a car. Basically, X Limited, they have hired me, they have given me an Alto for rent. Okay, sir, X Limited has given me Alto for rent. What do you do with that Alto? I hire it to customers. When X Limited gives it to hire to this person, X Limited will charge GST. I take ITC of only that, sir. I take off ITC only that. So 5% epo ITC is taken on input services of same business. Simple. ITC is taken of input services of same business. 5%, 12%. So let me just summarize quickly. Renting of motor vehicle to carry passengers, whether the consideration is including fuel cost or excluding fuel cost. If it is excluding fuel cost, boss, fuel cost is charged, separate consideration is charged. No RCM basis, FCM basis. Okay, sir, consideration including fuel cost. I don't know the breakup of fuel cost and others. Okay, sir, now there are two types of tax charge, 5% rate and 12% rate. When it's at 12%, I can take ITC of all my input services, capital goods. Okay, you take everything, no, pay tax at higher rate. No, sir, I don't take everything. I myself am not able to buy car. One company is hiring to me and I hire into customers. The company, when they are hiring, they'll charge GST. That term credit I am taking, sir. Chinna credit da. Whatever other expenses I have, whatever other supplies I purchase, on that I don't take GST, sir. Super. Then you take 5%. You are taking less credit, pay 5%. You are taking more credit, pay 12%. Now let us come to the principle. What is the principle, sir? Big percent pay tax, small percent keep quiet. Big percent pay tax, small percent keep quiet. Big percent pay tax, small percent keep quiet. Sir, renting of motor vehicles to carry passengers, two rates, sir. 5%, 12%. Who is the big person here, sir? 12%. So 12% is a big percent. That means pay tax on RCM, FCM. Pay tax on FCM, forward charge mechanism. Supplier will pay tax. Big person pay tax, small person keep quiet. Big person pay tax, small person keep quiet. Sir, 5%, 12%. 12% is bigger tax rate. Okay, pay on FCM. Supplier will pay tax. Super, sir. Now small person. Small person keep quiet. Keep quiet means someone has to pay GST. Nee small illa nama paapom. Okay, sir. IT is taken in case of input services. I am just rubbing this. In case of 5% rate. Who are you? Question is, who are you? Service provider நம்ம கேட்குறோம். தம்பி யார்ப்பா நீ அப்படி கேட்குறோம். He is telling, I am a company. I am a body corporate. Company. Service provider. Sir, I am a body corporate, sir. Body corporate is a company. Big person or small person? Big person. Boss, you are a body corporate. You are engaged in supply of renting of these motor vehicles. You are a body corporate. You are a big person. Sir, pay tax on FCM. Sir, I am not a body corporate, sir. I am a very small person, sir. I have two kids and all. Family itself very tough to run, sir. I am not a body corporate. Okay, you are not a body corporate. Okay, let me see if I can help you out. Okay, non-body corporate, say individual. Okay, pa, you are an individual. To whom are you providing the service? யாருக்கு நீ ப்ரொவைட் பண்ற? Who are you giving the service? ஓ, சர்வீஸ் ரிசிபியன்ட் யாருன்னு கேட்குறான். சர்வீஸ் ரிசிபியன்ட். Sir, I am providing the service to a company, sir. I am renting my motor vehicle to the company. I am renting my motor vehicle to the company. Oh, you are renting to a company. That is a body corporate. Then big person yaar? Sir, I am a non-individual. Okay, I am the service provider. I am providing it to a company. Who is the big person here? Sir, big person company, sir. Big person pay tax. Big person pay tax. Oh, service recipient is the big person here. Then RCM. Then RCM. Super, sir. Okay, sir. What if service recipient is non-body corporate? Is non-body corporate. Say he is also an individual. Appo, sir, he is non-body corporate. Individual is providing service. Service recipient also non-body corporate. Then the person doing the business is only bigger person. No. இவனுக்கு கம்பேர் பண்ணுறச்ச கவர்மெண்ட் என்ன சொல்கிறான், தம்பி நீ தானே பிஸ்னஸ் பண்ணுற, தென் பே டேக்ஸ் ஆன் FCM and not on RCM. Burden cannot be on the consumer. Final burden will be on the consumer. Paying tax to the government, complying with the law is on the business person. When you are a small person, when you are providing to company or company was providing, I told the company to pay. But now there are two people involved. Someone has to pay me tax. Considering these both, you are the person who is running the business. Hence, FCM is chargeable. SCM is chargeable. Service recipient will pay tax. So, what is the amendment we are coming to say? Simple. Renting of motor vehicles to carry passengers. The consideration is including fuel cost or excluding fuel cost. Sir, it's excluding fuel cost. Fuel cost separate consideration is charged. Boss, pay on FCM basis. Super, sir. Fuel cost inclusive. I do not have a breakup of fuel cost in this. Super. There are two tax rates. 5%, 12%. When 5%, when 12%, I already told you. Sir, 12%, 5 or 12, which is bigger, 12%. Okay, 12% is the bigger person here. So 12% means FCM. Super, sir. 5% now. 5% we are assessing whether he is smaller person or not. Who is the service provider? Service provider is company. Company is a big person. Pay on FCM basis. Okay. No, sir. I am providing service. I am an individual, sir. I have two kids and all. I have to run family and all, sir. How can I pay, sir? Okay. Don't worry. Let us see if it's possible to remove the difficulty for you. Okay, to whom are you providing? Sir, I am providing to a company, sir. Very big company, sir. Super, sir. Big or small company, company should pay tax RCM basis. Why RCM? Service recipient is the company here. Bigger person is the recipient. Pay RCM. No, sir. I am also not providing to company, sir. He is also a family man like me, having two kids, sir. What to do now? Okay, from the two people, from two non-body corporate, service provider is non-body corporate, service recipient is non-body corporate. What the government is telling? Both are non-body corporates. Boss, you are running the business. So service recipient cannot pay tax to me, hence pay on FCM basis. Super. Let's go to the next amendment. This is also relating to RCM. What is the next amendment? Let's see. Same RCM only, sir. No change. RCM. Securities lending scheme. Sir, what is this, sir? Securities lending scheme. Let me give you a quick background. Just listen. I am not writing anything in the board for the background and all. Securities lending scheme. Basically, many people faced hardship. SEBI brought a mechanism where you need not buy or sell securities. You can lend and borrow securities. One person will lend, one person will borrow. So basically, there is a lender, there is a borrower, not of money. Sir, money? No, not of money, of securities. Lender of securities, borrower of securities. Sir, will they sell directly or is there an intermediary to them? Yes, there is an intermediary. Someone is there, it passes through them, it passes through the intermediary. The transaction passes to the intermediary. Sir, he has Ashok Leyland stock, sir. Okay, Ashok Leyland. He wants to borrow Ashok Leyland stock for 1 month. Borrow. Sir, borrowing is really possible, sir. What are you telling? Yes, it is possible as per securities lending scheme issued by the SEBI. Okay, sir, he is borrowing Ashok Leyland stock. Super. I am borrowing through the intermediary. It is passing through the intermediary. So, lender is X, borrower is Y. X and Y, does X know Y or Y know X? No, sir. Is it possible to know X? Is it possible for X to know Y? No, sir. Is it possible to Y to know X? No, sir. Why, sir? Sir, simple. The lender and borrower will not know who are they each other. It is because it is passing to the intermediary. The intermediary controls to it. Example is the same of buying a share. You buy a share through your broker. You don't know who sold it to you, right? It is the same case here. So what is done here? They charge this borrower, this lender charges a consideration to the borrower. He will say, boss, I am lending you for 1 month now. You pay me consideration. You do whatever you want with the stock. You sell the stock, buy the stock, purchase additional stock, whatever you want. But if I give you 100 shares worth of 1000 rupees, you should give me the same 100 shares or same money's worth of 1000 rupees by way of shares after 1 month. 1 month is the period. So this lender is giving the service of lending shares. Okay, sir. Borrower is receiving it. Will not charge free of cost. So the lender will say, pay me 100 rupees, assume, or pay me interest. Pay me 100 rupees. Okay. This 100 rupees, it is a service. So why, sir, it is a service? Just a quick background. Section 2 clause 102 of CGST Act 2017 defines services. Services means anything other than goods, excludes money and securities. Sir, money and securities are here. How is it taxable? Securities is not sold here. This is a transaction in money. Transaction in securities. Facilitate the transaction in securities. By way of an explanation, already in CGST Act is given in 2 clause 102. Transaction facilitating in securities is chargeable to tax. This 100 rupees is a transaction facilitating the securities. Super, sir. Now, is it payable under RCM or not? Yes, sir, it is payable under RCM. Lender, borrower is there. Who will pay? Who is the service provider? Lender. Lender is giving his security, right? Lender is charging the consideration, is service provider. Who is the recipient? Borrowing. Borrower is receiving it. Borrower is paying the amount. So rupees 100 is paid by the borrower on RCM basis. Rupees 100 is paid by the borrower on RCM basis. Sir, earlier also was it like that? No, Kanna. Earlier lender used to pay. Earlier lender has to pay. But with the amendment, borrower has to pay. If you just ask me simply why it is there, so I told you lender and borrower. Lender does not know who is the borrower. Borrower does not know who is the lender. It is passed to an intermediary. What happened, sir? Then why they have changed from RCM to FCM? Lender pay. So whenever a lender has to pay charge tax, pay to government, they have to know who is the recipient. They have to include the GST number of the recipient. In case the recipient wants to take credit of it, the GST number should be there, right? In GST 2A it should be reflected, right? However, without putting the GST number of the borrower, how will they know? So every time lender goes to intermediary, sir, அவன் யாருன்னு சொல்லுங்க sir, அவன் யாருன்னு சொல்லுங்க sir, அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு lender கேட்கலாம். So it is very difficult for the government. So government told, boss, you simply don't worry, let the borrower directly pay. He will pay tax, he will take credit of it, and it is done. And with this RCM services we have done. Any amendments relating to RCM services we have done. There will be one more amendment which relating to passenger service fee or user development fee charged by airport authorities from the customer relating to RCM. I have given a detailed 2-pager of that in the amendment notes, which is shared in the description. Kindly take it from that, or else it will go 2 way higher. Thank you. That amendment relating to passenger service fee and user development fee is only clarificatory in nature. Kindly go through the notes. Now, what is the next thing we are seeing? Charge of GST. What is that, sir? This charge of GST. We have seen RCM, that is also coming from charge of GST only. RCM is in terms of section 9.3 and 9.4 put together. Okay, sir. Then they have released notifications. This charge of GST, in the amendment, we are going to see about composition scheme. This charge of GST, we are going to see about composition scheme. Where is this given, sir? Composition scheme. In the GST Act, where it is given? Section 10. Sir, in exam, if I write section 10 alone, is it enough? No. Section 10 of which act? Section 10 of CGST Act 2017. Oh, okay, sir. Now, what is this composition scheme? Generally, GST is paid on each and every transaction. Each and every transaction a supplier makes, GST is paid. Okay. However, for relief to small taxpayers, the government has given this composition scheme, whereby they say, boss, don't worry, you need not pay tax on every transaction. Quarterly, you pay a tax based on agreed turnover. Quarterly, paid tax based on agreed turnover. What they are telling? Quarterly, pay tax based on turnover. Super. Who are eligible for composition scheme? Who are eligible for composition scheme? Can be broadly categorized into three. Who are eligible for composition scheme? Number one, manufacturer. Number one, manufacturer. He is engaged in production of any article or thing. Number one, manufacturer. Number two, restaurant service provider. Number two, restaurant service provider. Number one, manufacturer. Number two, restaurant service provider. Number three, other suppliers of goods, not services. About other suppliers of goods. So, number one, manufacturer. Number two, restaurant service provider. Number three, other supplier of services. Okay, sir, what is the tax rate for them? Is there the same tax rate based on the HSN code classification? What is goods, what is services? Should I see what is goods or services in that? Should I see anything like that? No. Government has told, you are a small taxpayer, I will give you some benefit, directly pay tax on a specified turnover every quarter. Super, sir. What is the tax rate, sir? If you tell that, it will be over. No. There are certain conditions, but let us see the tax rates first. Manufacturer 2% of turnover in state or union territory. Okay, sir. Super. Restaurant service provider also 5% of turnover of union, state or union territory. Unless otherwise I say that the rate or whatever the criteria, it is on the turnover of state or union territory. Okay, sir. Other supplier of goods, how much, sir? 1%. Sir, is it 2% CGST, 2% SGST, 5%? No. This is a total tax. So, whatever I am telling the tax rates, you divide by half. In the Act, they would have given 1% in CGST Act, 2.5% in CGST Act, 0.5% in CGST Act. I am giving the total rate. You divide by half in your examination and calculate the total effective rate of tax. Super, sir. Sir, you are telling manufacturer 2%. Super, sir. Restaurant service provider alone, you are telling, sir. Restaurant alone 5%, sir. And other suppliers, you told goods, sir. 1%. So, is there someone who are not eligible, sir? Is there someone who is not eligible, sir? 2. Sir, what here you are spitting? That is what government has done. Basically, he told, boss, all of you avail. Few people are kari tupita. Government is spitting kari tupana. So, who is not eligible? Not eligible for composition scheme. Government என்ன பண்றா? அவங்கள காரி துப்புறான். யார் சார் காரி துப்புறான்? Government. Government is spitting on them. காரி துப்பிட்டான். Other service providers. Restaurant is only included. Other service providers not eligible for composition scheme. Okay. manufacturer of pan masala, not manufacturer, engaged in supply of pan masala. Manufacturer of edible ice, manufacturer of edible ice cream, manufacturer of ice cream and edible ice, with or without cocoa, chocolate and the cocoa. Okay. Tea and sir, tobacco and its substitutes. So basically what they are doing, government is saying manufacturer is eligible, restaurant service provider is eligible, other supplier of goods are eligible. Few people are not eligible. Government avanga mela kari thupran, spit. Other service providers not eligible. Pan masala not eligible. Manufacturer of ice cream, edible ice, whether or not containing cocoa, not eligible. Tobacco or its manufacturing substitutes, not eligible. One more amendment has come here. One more addition. What is that addition, sir? Aerated waters. Aerated waters are என்னது சார் அதெல்லாம்? Basically aerated waters are Pepsi, Coke or other soft drinks etc. which we say, for which 28% GST is charged. So those are called as aerated waters. Our cool drinks is a classic example of an aerated waters. So if a person who is engaged in the supply or manufacture of aerated waters, for them also a composition scheme is not eligible. They are not eligible for composition scheme. Super sir, no issues. So this is the amendment here, aerated waters. Is there any turnover condition? Sir, you told the turnover number 1. You also told small taxpayers. So two things, sir. What is the turnover limit, sir? Because they are small means I cannot say 100 crore turnover still go opt for composition. No. What is that criteria, sir? No problem, I'll just tell you. Turnover criteria for composition scheme. Turnover criteria for composition scheme. Sir, this turnover, is it also turnover in a state or union territory or it is total? This turnover, it is also turnover in a state or union territory or it is total? Pan India, total turnover. For eligibility, you should see Pan India, total turnover and aggregate turnover. It is not turnover for each state, it is total turnover of all states where I have registration put together, all states put together. Super sir, what is the criteria? Up to 75 lakhs. Don't just write in exam 75 lakhs. No, it is prefixed by a word called up to 75 lakhs. That means less than 75 lakhs or 75 lakhs. Up to 75 lakhs. Up to 1.5 crore. Sir, enna sir idu? Two things are. Yaba. Up to 75 lakhs, up to 1.5 crores. Okay sir, I will see what are the two things. But this up to 75 lakhs, up to 1.5 crores is on what period, sir? Should it be current year? Should it be my expected turnover? Should it be previous year? This up to 75 lakhs is as on preceding financial year. Up to 75 lakhs is on preceding financial year. Needless to say, up to 1.5 crore is also in preceding financial year. Up to 75 lakhs is in preceding financial year. Up to 1.5 crores is also preceding financial year. Sir, what sir? Now you see 75 lakhs for which states? 1.5 crore which states, sir? Why is government doing like this, sir? Have they gone nuts? Have they gone nuts? Why two things for two different states? Everybody should be equal, no sir? Correct pa? What I can do? Government have gone nuts. Oh, nuts. Enna sir solla varenga? For what states 75 lakhs condition threshold? For what states 1.5 crore condition threshold? I repeat, for what states 75 lakh threshold? For what states 1.5 crores threshold? Sir, nuts. Government have gone nuts. Two things. So for what states? Nagaland, Uttarakhand Tripura, Sikkim, Sikkim, nuts, map, that is in mnemonic. Here there are 3 states. In M there are 3 states. Meghalaya, Mizoram, Manipur, Arunachal Pradesh. Okay, sir. So what you are telling, small taxpayers, they should get some benefit, pay quarterly tax on the particular turnover. So whom is eligible? Manufacturer, restaurant service provider, other supplier of goods. Okay, 2% rate, 5% rate, 1% rate. Whom it is not eligible? Government are kari typifying on few people. Who are those? Other service providers, not eligible. Pan masala, not eligible. Ice cream or other edibles, whether or not containing cocoa, not eligible. Tobacco or its manufacturing substitutes, not eligible. New amendment, aerated water, cool drinks, soft drinks, Mirinda, Pepsi, etc. This, that, not eligible. Okay, sir. What is the turnover criteria? Turnover criteria here it is aggregate turnover. It is not turnover for each state. Aggregate. எல்லாம் கலந்து எல்லாமே சேர்த்து மொத்தமாக நான் பார்க்கணும். ஆல் பேன் இண்டியா ஸ்டேட்ஸ் பார்க்கணும்னா ஓகே சார் அக்ரிகேட் டர்னோவர் பார்க்குறேன். அதுலேயே என்ன சார் ரெண்டு பிரிச்சிருக்கான் 75 up to 75 lakhs in the preceding financial year up to 75 lakhs up to 1.5 crores in the preceding financial year up to 1.5 crores in the preceding financial year. கவர்மெண்ட்டுக்கு நட்டு கண்டிச்சா சார் என்ன சார் எதுக்கு ரெண்டு போடுறோம் ஒன்றாவே போட்டுடலாம். ஆமாப்பா நட்டு கண்டிச்சு என்ன பண்ணுறது? ஸோ நட்ஸ் மேப் நாகாலாண்ட், உத்தராகண்ட், திரிபுரா, சிக்கிம், nuts map, Meghalaya, Manipur, Mizoram, Arunachal Pradesh, and this is the balancing figure. Other states, needless to say, states also includes union territories. Needless to say, states also includes your union territories. Okay, sir. Why for them alone 75 lakhs, for them alone 1.5 crore? I am not going to too details about it. These are called as special category states. These are called as others. That's all. For special category states, government has given this. So that is it with respect to turnover eligibility. Turnover eligibility. Now let us see the next concept. Let us see what is it. Okay. Now, what earlier I told, it is eligible for manufacturer, RSP, restaurant service provider, OSD, other supplier of goods. Okay, sir. Now, what happened? Government told, boss, this manufacturer, restaurant service provider, other supplier of goods, you should do only manufacturing activity. If you have any other thing, okay, you should do only manufacturing activity. You should do, if you have any other outward supply of service, then that will not be included in the turnover criteria. But now, then if you do any other supply of service, then for you composition scheme itself will not be applicable. You will go to normal tax. Then these manufacturers came, see sir, I am manufacturing mobile phone. I manufactured it, I sold it to customer through Amazon. He is also happy, sir. 1 year later, the problem has come in this mobile phone. 1 year later, a problem has come in this mobile phone. Now, I have an authorized service center, same company, I have an authorized service center, I also do this repair services, because his mobile went, I only was the manufacturer, something wrong in his mobile, I should only rectify and give, no sir. How can I tell, no boss, you go somewhere else, I cannot rectify. It isn't my duty, I have a business, I have a goodwill, want my reputation get affected, sir. Please give some concession. Likewise, even restaurant service provider is telling. Likewise, in other supplier of goods are telling. Please give some concession. So what the government told? Additional services eligibility. What is this additional services eligibility? What they are telling? This composition scheme, whoever is eligible, they can provide some additional services up to a limit. They can provide an additional service up to a limit. Up to a limit, they can provide an additional services. Up to a limit, they can provide an additional services. What is that limit, sir? So basically, it is 10% of my turnover. 10% of my turnover in state or union territory. Or rupees 5 lakhs, 10% of my turnover of the state or union territory, or rupees 5 lakhs, whichever is higher. Okay, sir. Sir, again, sir, 10% of turnover, which year, sir? Current year, future years, or previous financial year, sir? In previous financial year. 10% of my turnover in state or union territory in the previous financial year, or rupees 5 lakhs, whichever is higher. Sir, why the state or union territory is very important, sir? Because this calculation of 10%, this calculation of 5 lakhs is for each state separately. It is not 5 lakh totally I can provide service after put all locations put together, or 10% of total turnover put together. No, it is 10% of the turnover in respect of each state calculated separately. But however, even if one state exceeds that limit, I am not eligible for composition scheme, gone. Even if one state exceeds the limit, I am not eligible for composition scheme, I am gone. I have to pay under normal tax. So we be very careful. Super, sir. So what you are telling, let me go with an example. Suppose turnover of manufacturer is 75 lakh. Okay, sir. Now, say he has only one state registration. It's a manufacturer other than spit goods. So, the additional service scheme, it says that, boss, one state you have registered 75 lakhs, the turnover of the state and union territory, this is not special category state. 10% of the turnover. What is 10% of my turnover? 10% of my turnover equals 7.5 lakhs. 10% of my turnover equals 7.5 lakhs. The act says 10% of my turnover or 5 lakhs, whichever is higher. What is higher here? Higher is this. So what government is telling, apart from the manufacturing activity, the turnover on manufacturing, apart from the turnover of manufacturing, apart from the 75 lakhs, up to 7.5 lakhs varikum I can provide any other service. It can be after sale service, it can be anything else. Up to 7.5 lakhs I can provide any other service. But however, I am providing 7.51 lakhs. Sir, eligibility is 7.5 lakhs, sir. Up to 7.5 lakhs I can provide, sir. However, I have provided 7.151 lakhs, sir. Sir, கொஞ்சம் தானே சார் எக்ஸீட் ஆயிடுச்சு, ஏதாவது கன்செஷன் இருக்குமா? கொஞ்சம் தானே எக்ஸீட் ஆயிடுச்சு, ஏதாவது கன்செஷன் இருக்குமா? No, kana. Once you exceed it, from the date of exceeding this limit, you are chargeable under normal scheme and not composition scheme. From the date of exceeding this limit, you are charged under normal scheme and not composition scheme. So, the companies who are opting for this should be very careful. It does not exceed 10% of the turnover in the state or union territory. Sir, what you are doing? Sir? Catch. What catch, sir? There is a small catch here. Let us see what is the catch involved here. There is a small catch. My dear students, this services, additional service rule, additional service scheme, I can call like that. This additional service scheme, one service is excluded, that is you can provide unlimited, I will not include in the value of this. What is that service, sir? What is that service here? One service is excluded. That is, I can provide how much ever amount I want relating to that service. It will not be included for the purpose of calculating this criteria. Okay, sir, what is that service? It says service by way of exempt supply, services of exempt supply by way of providing loans, deposits, advances where the consideration is charged by way of interest or discount. Simple soltanga. Service, exempt supply of service by way of, because that's an exempt supply of service by way of renting of, by way of giving of loans, deposits or advances where consideration is given by interest or discount. Example 1. I am giving loan to my supplier because I need to buy goods from him. He is facing some crunch. I am telling him, okay, I'll give you a loan. I will charge 10% interest on it. Loan to supplier on 10% interest. See, this loan is money. Loan is not chargeable to GST. But this 10% interest, it is a supply, it is a service. However, it is exempt. So government is telling, assume, suppose the loan value is 80 lakhs. 10% interest, say for 1 year we are giving. Assume for 1 year we are giving. Interest at 10% equals 8 lakhs. 8 lakhs. Now, assume in the case, I have provided 3 lakh worth of service. 3 lakh service, additional service. Plus, I am also receiving 8 lakh of interest. That is also a service, facilitating service. 8 lakh of interest. For the purpose of calculating the 7.5 lakh, eligibility, whether I have exceeded or not, should I include 3 lakh plus 8 lakh or should I include only 3 lakh? For the purpose of calculating this eligibility of 10% of turnover or 5 lakh, whichever is higher, when I provide the actual service calculation, should I include 3 lakh plus 8 lakh, 11 lakh, hence not eligible, you have to go for normal tax, or only 3 lakh. The Act clearly says, boss, service by way of exempt supply of service by way of extending deposits, loans, advances, where the consideration is represented by interest or discount, okay, that service don't include here. It is fine, it is normal practice, you can give it to them, don't include here. So in this case, I will take only 3 lakh and I ignore the interest for the purpose of this. I will ignore the interest. Super. Now, this is the first amendment relating to additional services for a composition scheme. Basically, they were told they would have to do only this activity. The turnover is taxable. The turnover to the external threshold you can apply. If you exceed that turnover, if you exceed 75 lakhs aggregate turnover, if you exceed 1.5 crore aggregate turnover, boss, you are not eligible. Come to normal scheme. Okay, because you are no longer a small taxpayer. No sir, I didn't exceed the turnover, but you understand my difficulty, sir. I have additional services, after sale services. Some service I will have, no sir. How can you tell I cannot have that, sir? Government யோசிச்சோம் கரெக்ட் தான் பண்ணி சொல்கிறது. So I'll give you an additional service scheme over and above your turnover. If you have some other output service over and above your turnover, if you are providing some other service, okay, to the extent of 10% of the turnover in the state or union territory. Why state or union territory? Because it is calculated each state wise in the preceding financial year or rupees 5 lakhs, whichever is higher. To that extent, you can supply additional service. But if you exceed that extent, boss, I have to cancel your composition scheme. You have to pay under normal tax. If you exceed that extent, I have to cancel the composition scheme, but you have to pay at normal tax. So this is the amendment. I have not taken entire composition scheme. I have only taken the amended part. Next amendment is under same composition scheme, section 10(2)(a). Let us see what it is. Section 10(2)(a). Let us see what is there. (10)(2)(a). Special concession scheme for service providers. Special concession scheme for service provider. What is this special concession scheme for service provider, sir? Basically, as I told you, for composition scheme, government on few industries split. In that one such thing is other service providers other than restaurant service providers, other service providers. So this is for the other service providers, other than restaurant service providers. So government has given a special concession scheme. Sir, what is this special concession scheme, sir? Because lot of service providers came up, sir, I know, sir, other service providers, you are not giving that benefit of composition scheme, sir. Some benefit you give me, sir. How can you expect me to pay tax, sir, fully and all, and file returns? I don't have the necessary infrastructure. I don't have necessary manpower. I am only 1% providing service, sir. So government told, no problem. Since you have requested me, I have saw the genuine hardship you have faced. To an extent of a limit, I will give you. Don't worry. Don't worry. So government has told, boss, come here. If your turnover, aggregate turnover less than equal to 50 lakhs, aggregate turnover less than equal to 50 lakhs, aggregate turnover less than equal to 50 lakhs. Sir, when? In the preceding financial year. If my aggregate turnover less than equal to 50 lakhs, in the preceding financial year, then you can opt for special concession scheme. So if my aggregate turnover less than equal to 50 lakhs in preceding financial year, you can opt for special concession scheme. Super, sir. Sir, at what rate I should pay tax, sir? You told me manufacturer 2%, restaurant service provider 5%, either 1%, sir. Now, at what rate should I pay tax? Government told you pay tax at 6%. This is the effective rate divided into 3. Government told you pay tax at 6%. Super, sir. Is there any exemption for this, sir? That is, இதுக்கு நான் அப்ளிகபிலிட்டி கிளாஸ் இருக்கா சார்? அப்போ காம்பன்சேஷனுக்கு காரி துப்பினாங்களா, அதே மாதிரி இங்கே காரி துப்புறாங்களா? கரெக்ட், இதுக்கும் துப்புறாங்க. ஸோ தே கேவ் டு அதர் சர்வீஸ் ப்ரொவைடர்ஸ் ஃபார் whom not applicable or who are not eligible for special concession scheme. In this regard, I just want to tell you, in composition scheme also there is a not eligible list. Other than this, basically there will be they provide non-taxable supplies. They don't have interstate outward supply of goods or goods. Then they don't have there is not a casual taxable person. He does not make supply of goods through an e-commerce operator under section 52. There are conditions attached to it. So if they do those, they are not eligible for composition scheme. In that same regard, the special concession scheme also has those. It says, number 1, does not or to whom not eligible. First one, makes non-taxable supplies of goods services. So what are non-taxable supplies? Basically, as I told, alcohol, liquor for human consumption is outside the ambit of GST. That is a non-taxable supply. So if a person is engaged in non-taxable supplies of goods or services or both, then no special concession scheme. Number 2, makes interstate outward supplies. Makes interstate and sir, inge where state further. Makes interstate outward. So I can purchase, sir. I can purchase everything. I can purchase from whoever I want. I can purchase from foreign country also, no problem. But I cannot sell it to other than my state where I am registered. I can sell it only within my state. I cannot sell it outside the state. Okay, sir, super. Then it's not supplying. Is supplying, since we are talking about does not apply. Is supplying through e-commerce operator on which TCS is chargeable under section 52. Basically, there is a concept where you supply through an e-commerce operator, TCS is deducted at a specified rate. So if you are supplying again goods or services through an e-commerce operator where TCS is chargeable under section 52, not eligible. Number 4, pit goods. Sir, what is pit, sir? Pit. Pan masala, edible ice cream, etc. Tobacco, aerated waters, sir, cool drinks, sir, Coke, Pepsi, I like very much, sir, but they cannot opt for composition scheme. They can also not opt for special concession scheme. Okay, sir, they cannot do. Super, sir. Then what is the 5th one, sir? He is not a casual taxable person or NRTP. We'll read more about this of casual taxable person or NRTP. Basically, casual taxable person or NRTP is almost similar, subject to few differences. But only thing they are, as I told in one amendment, exhibition. So they do take exhibition. They run every state. They run every 2 days. They be in one state. So basically, just to know on a very broad sense, that is them, and they are not eligible for compensation scheme. So to whom it is not apply? It will not apply to a person making non-taxable supply of goods or services or both. It does not apply to a person making interstate outward supply of goods or services or both. If he supplies to e-commerce operator where TCS is charged under section 52, then it is not applicable. Then if it is pita goods, basically pan masala, ice cream or vegetable ice, whether or not containing cocoa, tobacco or its manufacturing substitutes or aerated waters, then boss not applicable for you. Then they are she is a CTP or NRTP, no boss not applicable. Or if she is eligible for compensation scheme, obviously, because see, to whom this applicable service concession scheme? The service concession scheme by itself is applicable only for other service providers. Other service providers are not eligible for compensation scheme. So needless to say, even compensation scheme, whoever has compensation scheme cannot opt for special service scheme because it is mutually exclusive. Sir, but can someone, a restaurant service provider, not opt for compensation scheme and opt for this? No, boss. If you don't opt for compensation, that is your mistake. Okay, just because you don't opt, you cannot come here. For you, not eligible, not applicable. That's all. Okay, sir, super. Now, can you tell me one or two terms alone, sir? One or two terms alone, sir. You told me turnover. Now, a person registers during the year. A person registers during the year. It doesn't register at the start of the year. So, the turnover eligibility to determine for compensation scheme or for special service scheme, whatever is it, is there any exclusion? Number one. Or before registration, whatever charges are incurred, before registration, whatever charges are incurred, should it be included in my aggregate turnover or not? It should be included in my aggregate turnover or not. My dear students, aggregate turnover includes one thing, excludes one thing. Be very careful. Definitely, this can be an exam question. Number one, aggregate turnover. Let me give you one beautiful example. So, example 1419. Is the start of the financial year. I have, say, 19 lakhs. My turnover is 19 lakhs. Supply 1419 to 3619. Super, sir. 19 lakhs is my supply. Now I know I am eligible for. I am going to be now. What will happen? I have to register myself. Super, sir, I will register now. I am registering on, sir, 20 lakhs only, no, sir. Okay, I am registering now, nothing wrong. I am registering on 1719. I have got, I have done Paka. In 3 days I have got registration. Effective date is date of application. So, date of application 1719. Super, sir. From 1719 to 31st January 2020, from 1719 to 31st January 2020, I have supply worth of 1.32 crores. I have supply worth of 1.32 crores. Now listen carefully, or let us say 1.31 crores to be very precise. Now listen carefully. 1419 to 3619, I had supplies of 19 lakhs. Okay, this supply of 19 lakhs, I was not registered that time. Now 1719 to 31120 registration, 1.31 crores I have a supply. At this time I was registered. What is the total, sir? Total supplies made. Adding these both, 19 lakhs plus 1.34 crores, 1.50 crores. I don't have special category rates. Super, sir, no issues. Now, for the purpose of calculating aggregate turnover for composition scheme, for the purpose of for the purpose of calculating aggregate turnover for composition scheme alone, sir, beyond 1.5 crores I go, I will not be eligible for composition scheme, sir. From next day normal tax rate, sir. What should I do? Please help me. Beyond 1.5 crores, you will not be eligible for composition scheme. You have to pay normal tax. Sir, now what to do, sir? Should I take only after registration 1.31 crores, or even though I was not registered, should I include both 19 lakhs plus 1.31 crores? Sir, it's 1.5 crores exact. So even 1 rupee sale I make, next time supply I make, I should be under normal scheme, no, sir. So then the government told, boss, you are correct. Whether you are registered or not does not matter for me. Whether you are registered or not does not matter for me. In that financial year, you have made supplies of how much? 19 lakhs plus 1.5 plus 1.31 crores. Its total is 1.5 crores to be considered for aggregate turnover. So God government told, boss, whether you register or not, nonsense, I am not bothered. Whether you registered or not, nonsense, I am not bothered. However, 19 lakhs plus 1.31 crores, the total turnover you have, total supplies you have made during this period for both non-registered time as well as registered time. So that should be considered for the purpose of calculating aggregate turnover. Next day, suppose in say 2nd February 2020, I make rupees 100 rupees supply, it exceeds 1.5 crores, I have to pay normal tax under section 9. Normal tax under section 9. Super, sir, super. So this is the case. Sir, you told one inclusion, one exclusion, sir. I very well remember you told one exclusion. Now kindly tell us what is the exclusion. From aggregate turnover, the exclusion is loans, advances, deposits having interest or discount. Sir, we discussed now, sir, that where you are giving to your supplier one amount, after 1 year you are collecting 80 lakhs, 10%, that only, no, sir? Yes, that only. So even for the purpose of aggregate turnover, only for composition scheme, or special concession scheme for that matter. When I say here in that meaning, when I say composition scheme, it includes both composition scheme as well as special concession scheme. Only for the purpose of section 10, aggregate turnover will exclude loans, exempt supply of services where the extending of loans, deposits and advances where the consideration is accompanied by interest or discount. Anyways, loans, advances, deposits is not a supply, interest is a supply, but is exempt and exclude it in the aggregate turnover. Sir, interest alone is not exempt, no, sir. There are various exempt supplies. Should I include? Yes, Kana, you should include. Various exempt supplies you should include. Aggregate turnover is including all taxable supplies, all exempt supplies as well. Zero rated supplies is also included. So, aggregate turnover, you should include everything. However, loans, advances, deposits, where the consideration is applied by way of interest or discount and is an exempt supply, that alone you are excluding from aggregate turnover only for the purpose of section 10. That is it about composition scheme and special concession scheme. So to summarize composition scheme, it is applicable to manufacturers, restaurant service providers and other traders of supply of goods. For manufacturers, the tax rate is 2% of the turnover of the state or union territory. For other restaurant service providers, it is 5%, and for other suppliers of goods, it is 1%. So, and the turnover criteria, before that, government kari tupifying for a few people, that is other service providers, spit, pan masala, ice cream and other edible ice, tobacco and its manufacturing substitutes, and also aerated waters. That is the amendment here. Okay, after that there is a turnover criteria up to 75 lakhs in the preceding financial year, up to 1.5 crores in the preceding financial year. Up to 75 lakh for whom is applicable, government has gone nuts because they are having various criteria for different states. So nuts N, Nagaland, U, Uttarakhand, T, Tripura, yes, Sikkim, then map, nuts map, M, 3, in my M there are 3, Mizoram, Meghalaya, Manipur and AP, Arunachal Pradesh. Others, it is 1.5 crore. Other states includes union territories. Okay, sir, this is done now. What to do next? Then the government also bought some additional service scheme because the manufacturer told, boss, I have some after sales services, other services also. For that also, you need concession. So government told, okay, up to 10% of the turnover of the preceding financial year in the state or union territory, or rupees 5 lakhs, whichever is higher, you can take as additional services. If you provide additional services to that extent, you are still under compensation scheme, no problem. But if you go beyond that, boss, go to normal scheme. And in case what if it is a new business, that means the turnover will be 0. So 10% into 0, 0 and 5 lakh, whichever is higher. That is there. Then section 10 clause 2, section 10 subsection 2A has brought this special concession scheme. This is applicable to all service providers other than who is eligible for compensation scheme. So basically this is eligible for service providers other than restaurant service providers. Okay, sir, they have got this. What is the scheme? If your turnover in the preceding financial year is less than equal to 50 lakhs, pay tax at 6%. If turnover is less than equal to 50 lakhs in the preceding financial year, pay tax at 6%. Super, sir. Are there any conditions here? Here also, pit goods cannot be applicable. Pan masala, ice cream, tobacco, and aerated waters for them not applicable. Not applicable to a casual taxable person, not applicable to an NRTP, not applicable for a person who is making non-taxable supply, not applicable for a person who is making interstate outward supply. You can even import goods, you cannot make interstate outward supply from that, and not applicable for a person having compensation scheme. Also not applicable to a person who is supplying to e-commerce operator for which TCS is chargeable under section 52. So this is what the overview of this, and we have not gone through, and in case of the conditions which I existed now, which I told now for 10-2A, it is for both goods as well as services. It is for both goods as well as services. Just be careful. Just be careful. The same conditions are there in the compensation scheme restrictions also. However, for your examination, it is only for goods. There is no exemption given for services. The restrictions are not given for services. However, for 10-2A, whatever restrictions are there, it is also for services. But however, in composition scheme, the restrictions, it is only for goods. Whereas in case of the special concession scheme, the restrictions, it is for goods as well as services. Be careful. And one more point I would like to add before concluding. In case of a composition scheme, RCM is still applicable. That means if I import a service, or if I get a service, if I get an inward supply of a service, someone is rendering me a service on which RCM is applicable, I have to still pay tax on RCM. This is in addition to the tax at the specified rate such as 2, 5 or 1%. In case a compensation scheme has an inward supply that is liable for RCM, that is in addition to the tax that I pay on my turnover. So why, sir? Where it is given, the section would start that notwithstanding anything contained in section 9, however, subject to the provisions of section 9.3 and 9.4, subject to the provisions of section 9.3 and the 9.4, this subject to the provisions of section 9.3 and 9.4, the 9.3 and 9.4 covers RCM. That means apart from all other tax provisions in section 9, but however, those things won't be applicable, but 9.3 and 9.4 alone will be applicable for compensation scheme. So be careful of that. And the last point, this aggregate turnover, we spoke about exclusions, inclusions. The government is telling whether you are registered, whether you are not registered, I don't care. When you calculate aggregate turnover, club both. That is one point, sir. And exclusions, any loans, advances, basically service of exempt supply by way of extending of loans, advances and deposits, the consideration is applied by way of interest and discount, that thing is exempt and it is not calculated for the purpose of the turnover limit, it is not calculated in the purpose of additional service limit as well. Okay, sir, this is done now. The last thing, just one small thing. For the registration purpose, to calculate aggregate turnover for registration purpose, this exclusion is not there. This exclusion of loans, allowances, deposits is only for the purpose of section 10. Only for the purpose of section 10.